say something. Don't look away. Crime hiding in plain day. See something. Say something. Pick up the phone. No one fights this alone. Breakfast with
We are sitting barefoot with Carol in the White Tiger and Dragon Martial Arts Dojo. That's how you say it?
The words are interchangeable. Dojo, academy.
Dojo.
We're
Yeah.
family. We're so many things. But yes, we call it either a dojo or academy. Some people call it old school studio. But welcome to White Tiger and Dragon Martial Arts.
Thank you so much, Carol, for having us. This is Breakfast with Benefits with
Beyza
and Krista. And we have the pleasure today to be at this really cool place with Carol, who is a martial arts sensei. She's also a big advocate for human trafficking. And today we are sitting here on the cause of talking about human trafficking, especially in the city where we live in Miami. But the numbers are shocking, actually. I was preparing, Carol, and what really struck my mind was that 1 out of every 7 men paid for sex with a minor. This is sick.
Yeah.
This is sick.
and we live here. We live in Miami
We live
with
it.
these numbers. And Miami is the number 1 in Florida state.
That is correct, unfortunately.
I didn't know that. I thought it's a drug city, but human trafficking is, as you said the other day, the modern slavery.
Yes, it is. I mean, and everything's about perception. Some of us are living such a glorious life in Miami, and others are being
Yes.
forced to be sex slaves.
Yeah.
You know, it's terrific.
And you are wearing 2 hats, right? You are running the martial arts studio. You are the chair at the Women's Club of Coconut Grove.
Human Trafficking Awareness and Prevention Committee.
How did this journey start for you?
After being president of a sorority at University of Miami and spending many years in martial arts, and as I got more established, this building just kept resonating with me, this gorgeous building overlooking the bay, which is the Coconut Grove Women's Club. And I finally had enough guts one day to go in and see what was going on. And I literally walked into a meeting and people were very welcome. Come in, come in. And I sat in and I heard all these women that used to be top in their fields and still are, CEOs, so many chiefs, but spot on. And it's a service club. I recognized immediately that they were broken up in committees. And these 2 women really struck me as very powerful. And they were talking about human trafficking awareness prevention.
So human trafficking prevention and awareness is on top of your agenda there.
Yes, it's a big committee in the club. It's my passion. I immediately, when I was there in that first meeting, recognized how I could use my skill set as a martial artist to help.
The 2 really
They do go hand in hand.
go
Yeah,
hand in hand. Yeah, exactly. Did you have a personal experience with human trafficking or a friend or somebody that really draw you in?
Definitely seen a lot, all aspects of Miami. When I first came down here to University of Miami and towards my senior year, one night my sorority sisters and I were hanging out eating pizza. And all of a sudden I started hearing about all these sob stories. And then so many of them experienced some type of sexual attack on campus. And I couldn't believe it. Back then, there was no internet. I went to the library and I was a student. And I researched nationwide, 4 out of 5 women on college campuses experienced some type of sexual attack. And this isn't even considered human trafficking.
Yeah.
But then it expanded. My eyes became open and it made me sad. And so I started as a self-defense and awareness course for women in college and women preparing to go to college. And then when I went to the Women's Club, I learned about human trafficking. I've been part of the club now for almost a decade, and I've been chair for about 7-8 years out of that decade.
The Women's Club of Coconut Grove, it's established
1891.
1891.
And how it was established, I mean, this was swampland.
Yeah.
Women, like pioneers that came here to settle and saw greatness, their husbands, the women, instead of just sitting around knitting again, they sought a way how to unify and work. It was called the Housekeeping's Club originally. And so they weren't just cleaning houses, they were helping each other and helping unite community and helping the community's needs. Yeah. And then this gorgeous property, they came by and they've been doing it ever since. And you know what's insane? I don't know how many women, once they pass, leave a portion of their estate, if not all the estate, to the Women's Club because they know that it'll go to good use.
I want to repeat that a couple of times. That's
Yeah.
why I bring it up. It's a serving club.
It's a service club.
It's not
Yeah.
a woman club like they talk
Knitting,
about
knitting and high tea.
As we say, and as I've coined the phrase, we are certainly not a knitting club. Every single one of those women, we're almost 200 strong now, wear their capes. You know, we are the superheroes of the community. We have the time, the resources, the energy to help, and the desire to help. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word bitches, but most people think the club is full of bitches. It's never been.
You can't say that in our podcast.
Yes. Okay. And I ask people all the time, because we're friendly with the woman who owns Coconut Grove magazine. I go, what'd you think about our club? She goes, I thought you were all bitches. I'm like, now you know, we're not. And so diverse. And we're going to be on the cover of her magazine. And I'm going to wear this because I want to show the diversity. When I first joined, yes, the demographic was still older, but doesn't mean just because you're older, you're not powerful.
Exactly.
Your mind, your
You're more
visas.
experienced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing the demographic change. And now we even have an organization called the Juniorettes of a bunch of teens here. They're like junior members of our club.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
And that-
And our motto is lend a hand. And we have many hands, and we're hugely diverse, and we have everyone represented. And now we even have the youth in there helping, and everybody has their superhero, figuratively, cape. And the more superheroes we have, the better we can protect our community.
I like that.
Initiative started, as you mentioned, in 2014, so 12 years ago. How did this initiative start, and how it shifted and changed what it is today?
Great question. Agnes Morell and Sylvia Harperton were the original co-chairs of this committee. So the committee started by Agnes went to the state attorney at the time. She went to a talk, and the big topic was human trafficking and awareness and prevention. And that really struck a chord with her. And she brought it back to our club. And then the committee started. We were the first women's club in the state of Florida to start a committee like this. So we're on the cutting edge.
And what exactly the committee is doing?
So much. We only do more and more. And it's really changed. Those women were our pioneers, and they would raise money and they would raise awareness. Like there's organizations called Thrive. A lot of medical students from the University of Miami. I mean, we've had forums back then. We have forums now. How's it changed? We work hand in hand with the state attorney's office. Recently, this year alone, let me give you some highlights. We had hosted the largest self-defense workshop at the Women's Club. We was originally supposed to be at the University of Miami. And within 2 days, we had to quickly change the venue. We had over 300. We were beyond capacity. I changed it up. I taught a workshop first time with a DJ. Felt like a rock star on stage. And we were teaching self-defense and awareness in a really fun way. And we crossed so many bridges. There were women and children of all ages, both male and female. And we also often get called upon by the state attorney's office. And I feel like as a martial artist, you know how Batman, your commissioner, would put that light up in the air? I'm like, she's calling again. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. And I do feel like a superhero. And everyone in my club is too. And anybody who's an advocate for any great causes like this. So basically this year alone, we were asked to create a space. It's at an undisclosed area. This is a huge passion and project of fighting this heinous crime. They have a one-stop shop where survivors are brought to the center. And we've been there many times, and we bring donations of clothing for the survivors, comfort things, feminine products. But this time we get to create a safe space, a room where they get interviewed. Now, often these people, these victims, feel like they did something wrong. Their self-esteem is rock bottom.
Is this the other reason that's why they don't tell? They don't talk? Because they think they are guilty.
Yeah, the shame.
The shame factor. And you're hitting upon something that the shame, fear for their own families. So we created a space, a gorgeous space where they could relax and see the sunshine. And we have beautiful artwork from local artists in Coconut Grove where they could open up and help the prosecutors for these crimes catch these horrible traffickers and bring them to justice.
Is the committee works with other organizations?
We do. For instance, our most recent, the Women's Fund, they call it now the One Team. The Women's Fund hosted organizations like ourselves, as well as Casa Valentino, which helps people foster care in between Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Christie House, Camilla's house. The Mexican consulate was there. I mean, the list went on. And then we were there to listen, a topic we already know about. We're always learning new stuff. And we were able to network. Our biggest thing right now is FIFA. FIFA's on the
yeah.
table.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
FIFA.
Yes. Actually, that's why we are doing this podcast. Thank you for reaching us, Carol, and Women's Club of Coconut Grove. They reach to our podcast, and can we do it now before the FIFA hits Miami? So I was going to also ask why Miami is first city in States and the third city in nation, right?
Yes, I mean, we're a peninsula, 3 bodies surrounded by water. Very easy to bring people in, very easy to bring people out. This is a big global problem. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry. They look at them as inventory. I'm an athlete, and I no longer look at sporting events such as FIFA. I wonder how many women and men, young women and men, will be trafficked. But I do give FIFA credit for now. This is a big deal. They're acknowledging there is a problem. They have launched a huge campaign. It's a penalty. At that last Women's Fund meeting we just had, they had thousands of these that we all took as organizations that we're just, putting out throughout the community to raise awareness.
So this is like the awareness for human trafficking, and they put these leaflets in common places, restaurants, toilets. I came across actually.
Oh, yeah.
I took a photo. I was at the airport traveling, and in the toilet, there was a big poster about human trafficking.
Well, it's funny, it's a universal sign.
Yeah, the universal
So
sign.
back when Agnes Morel and Sylvia were co-chairs, we were the ones in the committee going out, putting them in hotels, restaurants, airport. Now, when we travel, we already see them there. Stop it, but we could reduce it. We could try to prevent it. And awareness is key. Knowledge is power.
Yeah. I think that's so important that we talk about it, because I think the more we learn about it, the more we teach our immediate family, kids, and then, spread the word to our friends, more people are going to be safe. More people are going to have the awareness. More people will know what to do. What are the signs? Who are the victims? Why do they fall as victims?
Okay, these are all great questions. First of all, it used to be middle schoolers. It's getting younger and younger. But on a good note, there's a lot of educators like ourselves.
I heard like even 11 years old.
Yes.
Boys or girls.
The last time we were at the state attorney's office, I believe the youngest one they've had recently was 9. So in the middle schoolers, they are now trafficking victims. Organizations like ourselves are going out there. And there's a good sign when I talk to my students on a daily basis. They hear it from me. They're like, Sensei, we've heard this at school, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But now we have to get into the elementary schools. And the problem between middle and elementary, the brain is different. It's not as mature. They don't understand.
Yeah.
Somebody gives them a gift. There's the Romeo effect. There's the pimp effect.
What is the Romeo effect?
The Romeo is when somebody gives you gifts and attention and just treats you amazingly, and they develop a trust. And before you know it, they're asking them to do sexual favors. Statistics such as some of these poor victims are forced to have sex 26 times in a day.
Oh my God. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And you guys told me, well, a human trafficker can make $100,000
For each girl, boy,
per year.
This is what we know right now. So they look at them like inventory. So I could make off for each girl, boy, $100,000 a year. Inventory.
And
Right?
it's
The
only
criminal.
just
Yeah.
one.
That's just one.
Yeah.
victim. Of
That's
course,
just
they're
one.
going to be. Can you imagine hundreds? And here you gave us some numbers. 1,200 victims only identified in Miami by the local force.
Yes.
And almost 90% between 11 and 17 female and all races, and 40 all reported victims are here, minor ages.
What are the characteristics of these victims? Why they fall into this?
I'm going to tell you a story about one girl that she got a straight A student, was going to school in South Miami, Pinecrest area. And then she ended up on H Street after school. Instead of an after school activity, she's getting pimped out and getting trafficked. This happened to her. Other people, another survivor we work with, Romeo effect, had this boyfriend and get older, gave her gifts, so much attention. Before you know it, he had her doing all these favors. And so there's a Romeo effect, there's a pimp effect, there's the foster care system, as we all know about ICE and everything else, and immigration, and they instill fear. We're going to make sure that your family gets support.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure, the shame factor. We're going to hurt your family. There's many, many different reasons.
And this preteen and teen time is such a difficult time emotionally, right? They want to belong. They want to be loved. They want people to pay attention to them. And if they come across with someone with the Romeo effect, offering them love, offering them them gifts. It's such an easy way that they fall for it.
There's also websites and on social media that are enticing potential victims. And eventually they meet.
They meet on social media and
Absolutely.
they say, let's meet somewhere.
Yeah,
and then
eventually.
maybe Romeo effect develops and some gifts. And maybe this is like investment. And you call the other time, they are marks. So they're marking people.
They're looking for what we call, in the martial arts world, as well as the military and police world, easy marks. So that's what we don't want our young people to be, easy marks. They're looking for the easy mark instead of somebody who's confident. They're looking for the weak. They're preying upon the weak and the available for whatever reason they may be, like homelessness, a foster care system. There's so many different ways. They have so many tools.
In a Women's Club of Coconut Grove, there was a video and it was saying about a tourist as well. A young girl comes to Miami and they took her passport.
Yes.
Right?
That's typical. Then you're held hostage. This happens on planes. So whereas the pimp will be right next to them but holds their passport. But now the flight attendants are being educated. And the more education that's out there, it's kind of like cockroaches. We want to shine a big, bright light on them so they'll run.
Yeah. So what are the signs when, let's say, we are traveling or just walking in the streets in Miami? What are the signs that could be alarming and we should pay attention to?
There's so many. Somebody that's a control freak next to them that watches their every move. A male that stays close to the bathroom. A young person looking tattered, not very good hygiene, scared. Not making eye contact, not speaking clearly. This is what they're also teaching the nurses and the doctors in all the hospitals, the signs.
Yeah.
They're broken or nearly broken, and they'll just use them until they just throw them out. I mean, use and abuse. But these are typical signs that one could look for.
And then what do we do, right? So let's
See
say
something, say something.
I see a situation like that, but you don't want to interfere because you don't know the real situation, but maybe you feel that there is something not quite right.
And
There's hotlines.
What can we do?
See something, say
something.
something. You don't need to be sure. That's very important,
No,
I think.
these
you
are
don't need
for
to be sure.
anonymous tips. Once again, our wonderful state attorney put this campaign wherever I go. I take a stack every day, stickers, flyers, putting them out. You could scan it. If you see something, you say something.
So
We have that
you call the
responsibility to do
police
so.
or-
305 fix stop. We're going to
Okay.
repeat that during
Please
the
say-
yeah.
please.
305 fix stop.
Okay.
That's for Miami, right?
That is correct. That is correct. They don't care. A lot of people might not call. They don't want to get involved. Or, well, maybe if I'm wrong, no. They would rather look into it and be wrong.
Yeah.
Go a place to make a call and make that call. Time is of the essence. Everybody has to take some type of responsibility in this problem, because what does it take for it to be someone's daughter, somebody's niece or nephew, where it becomes more personal? No, this is a global problem, so we have to make it a global solution.
Just going back to that, this is a global problem. I've seen the documentary many years ago, The Sound of Freedom, which was a very disturbing story happening in South America. And there was a lot of weird thing happening around the documentary not being released. If I'm correct,
Yeah.
they waited like 5 years to release
Before
the
they could release
documentary.
it.
Why was so much stopping and not being able to bring this to the light when this is such an important global issue, in your opinion?
It's about money.
Money.
Follow the money trail. People that know that if we're going to put this out there, there's more awareness. It's going to hold down the money. They don't want to keep that funnel of money and keep going. Well, they want to keep us in the dark. Because of people like us and people like that produce the documentary, it's getting out. The fact that FIFA is launching this campaign, we might not stop everybody. Awareness, education is key. And citizens doing the right thing, make that call, even if you think you're wrong.
There are survivors in a Women's Club of Coconut Grove too, right?
Yes, sir.
I remember you were telling me a snow story.
Often when I speak, somebody will approach me with their story. I didn't realize that a woman who's now older in her 70s approached me. Never met her before, never talked to her before. She pulled me aside and she was frustrated that we weren't focusing and we're all getting geared up for FIFA, more about Jeffrey Epstein and files. She was very upset. I go, I hear you. And, I'm here for you. Would you like to be a speaker? Would you like to join the committee? How could I help more? And then she told me her story. And when she was a teen here in Miami, a lot of us teens, as growing up, as y'all know, we're middle school, high school, get kind of lost. And she was led down the wrong path. She's like, I just wanted to see snow.
That
she was
hits me
taking
so hard.
That's all she kept saying. I will remember that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
All I wanted to see is snow. And she was taken to Canada to be trafficked in Canada. And her parents just thought she was on a trip. And then there's the shame when you come back and the disconnection. It ruins families. The substance abuse and the alcohol abuse of that person. That lasts. Good for her that she's still around and such. But I could see she was hurt.
Yeah.
Deeply wounded. I'm very proud of her that she told me her story. And that alone is going to give me ammunition to keep, fighting, being an advocate.
Yeah. What is the support system when these victims finally are freed? How they can really get back to society again and start to live a normal life?
Well, those that are reported survivors are brought into this one-stop shop that the state attorney has set up where they want to find the perpetrators. It's hard for them to tell their story because they often feel like, am I going to get in trouble? Because it can be considered you're soliciting sex.
Yeah.
So it could be that they did something wrong. Are they going to be put away? Mm-hmm. Are they going to jail? Mm-hmm. And it feels like that when they're getting interrogated. And now that's why we developed the soft room, the Coconut Grove Women's Club.
Hold on. I never thought about that side before.
Yeah.
I was always thinking human traffickers and the victims, but they can feel like they are going to get in jail because they're executing that.
There are women in jail that were prostitutes that were probably trafficked. Okay. And as well as women coming in are fearful of going to jail for being a prostitution. And young men, because I never want to forget about the young men either. And the ones that they find, they are brought to this unit. And what they do there is amazing. They right away have to be brought now to a beautiful room, a soft interview room, and they try to get as much information as possible. So they're working the criminal end. There's also a big closet of clothes, and they could take a shower there. And then they're given a backpack with food, gift cards and such. But a lot of them end up right back on the streets.
Yeah, that's the fear, how they get back on track in life.
Right.
To get a job, get health insurance, be able to get married, have children.
This is where it all starts, where the prosecution against their would-be traffickers, where there's different organizations throughout Miami that offer them shelter, clothing, jobs, and things and organizations like Coconut Grove Women's Club. We donate. So through this one unit, it's like a one-stop shop for human trafficking victims to get their lives
It's
together.
like a starting point.
Yes, to start over.
I'm wondering, where is their family, right?
A lot of them we talked about earlier, well, where are these people? Runaways. Runaways are another source for these human traffickers. Some of them don't have families anymore, too ashamed to go back. Some of them come from some of the most pristine families here in Miami and all over the country.
That again brings us back to our family connection. If your kid cannot talk to you,
right?
How
You just hit it. Communication.
We have to talk. Anything happens to you, you have to come to me.
Right.
Yeah.
To come to the family.
Some of the survivors that we bring in to talk to our community, it's so funny when it comes to communicate. Just like the word samurai in Japanese means to serve. And I'm here to serve my students. Parents need to be the samurais and serve their kids. They don't have to be best friends, but I'm here to serve them and keep them safe. She talked about taking that phone. She needed to, or taking that laptop. Don't be afraid to do that. Now she just has to ask, can I please see your phone? But in the beginning, if you have to take,
be available.
Try to have that open communication. But in the beginning, if you have to be a little bit more persistent, do so. Do what it takes to protect your kids.
Yeah.
Look at their laptops. Look at their browsers. Look at their histories. What are they looking up? Most parents have no idea what their kids are Googling. How many kids are out here with cell phones? It's like mini laptops everywhere.
Yeah.
On one hand, it could be used for many good reasons. On the other hand, they could be looking up sites that could lead them to human traffickers. But you have to have that open communication.
Yeah, that's very good. Yes, we have to be involved. We have to know what's going on.
No one fights this alone.
Because we all walk with our phones. You showed us a demonstration, and our listeners can watch in our Instagram. There are the 3 points of human body: ears, eyes, throat. After that, I feel very comfortable more outside. Immediately, I show it to my kids. Again, be confident. Don't be the mark. Raise your voice. So we're going to show it on our Instagram.
Yes,
How
absolutely.
was that?
So how it all started, to think out of the box. Our mind is our best weapon of self-defense, okay? But after, unfortunately, 9/11, I am a New Yorker. I was brought in with my karate instructor at the time by American Airlines. They emptied a box and they said, show us how to use these common objects for self-defense. So I started thinking like that, rolling up a magazine, using it towards somebody's throat, a paper clip to an eye. So that's how it started. And then I started thinking, all right, our cell phones are always in our hands. So if somebody's not practicing their awareness, but they do have their phone in their hand, anything becomes an extension of your body. I never tell women walk around with pepper spray and things like that because it can be used against you. If you have a gun, you should be trained in it, safety features and all that. But if I just have my cell phone, I could use it slap it against somebody's ear if necessary, the corner to the eye or to the throat. So no matter how big somebody is or strong they are as attackers, you can still defend yourself. And even our body language, we're mammals. 90% of all communication is nonverbal. Putting up your hands, hey, what do you want? In a big girl voice.
Yes, I like
your
that
voice,
so
the
much.
tone of
You're
your
taking
voice.
away some power from them. You're not going to be an easy mark. And they want an easy mark. If you make it harder, the better. So a quick story we discussed was in South Miami Hospital last year. There was a woman leaving in her 30s from the hospital at night. Somebody was following her. They have it on video. Well, she started screaming, flailing everywhere. When he tried to attack her, the security guards came running, but instead of bringing him in and capturing him and calling the police, they just shoot him off the property. Well, as the story goes, he went further on and he had zip ties in his car. And then he went down and he saw a young lady, and I believe it was around spring break time. She was all absorbed in her phone, pulls up, and she starts whacking him in the ear and the eyes and the throat with the phone. And then he was caught. And then even one of my most defining moments, because when you do all this stuff, you never know, am I really helping anybody, even if you help one? So the judge at the time was saying, how clever to use. And then it came out that she attended one of my self-defense workshops.
That's incredible.
awesome.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you're right. We teach our kids situational awareness. But yes, we have our phone. And that's the perfect way.
So we
And
want to use
I
it.
like the voice and confidence in your tactic better.
And distance is always your friend. So if my feet are like in a regular position, I want to stand back in a good base. 90% of all attacks end up on the ground. In this dojo, we teach you how to use your mind to avoid, ignore, defend, and then defend one self-defense technique standing up. And believe it or not, do either of you know what to yell if somebody attacked you?
No idea.
Not help. Why? Fire, we are mammals. We are selfish creatures. If where's the fire, I don't want to get
Fire?
Fire. Not
That's
help.
interesting.
Fire.
Not help.
No, because they might think you're having a family drama and they don't want to get involved. Fire, now you got everybody's attention because nobody wants to get burned.
Oh, wow.
That's
I never
perfect.
thought about that.
Yes,
Correct.
perfect.
And you also have a method called stun and run.
Stun and run, that's
Yeah.
right. I mean, we do want to avoid, ignore, defend, but if we do defend, we want to stun the attacker and run away screaming fire. We teach little ones to older people how to do this. And the ones that I know of are not being attacked because they're more aware. They're practicing their awareness. They're being mindful of their actions. They're not putting themselves in dangerous situations. And really, your mind is really your best weapon of self-defense. Is anybody or poor human trafficking victims, is it their fault? Absolutely not. But knowledge is power. And the rest of us, this is a global problem. It needs to have a global solution. And we need to be good citizens of the world. The police officers and Homeland Security, they can only cover so much. We need to be aware of our surroundings. I'm not paranoid. I'm just aware.
So if you're a parent and then you have preteens, teens, what are the 5 things you teach them before they come to your class?
Before they come to, as a parent, okay, I want us to have open communication. There's nothing you can't tell me.
Oh, that's powerful.
I will love you. I am here for you. I am not here to judge you. Judgment is also a big thing with our human trafficking victims as well as their kids. Make it a safe place. This is our home. And we're strong. And we're going to get through anything together to encourage them. Honesty. To be honest, if you're honest with me and tell me anything, I could help you. No matter what. I always think training in a good dojo like mine is important. This is become more than karate. This is a life skill, just like swimming and stuff.
Miami is number 1 in the state.
Yeah.
I mean, this should
Yeah,
be part
everybody
of
have to have this skill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I have
totally. More
overseas.
female or also males are target?
Absolutely. They say there's about 9% men, so we're talking about 91% female. But I always like to include the young men, as a lot of times kids come to us when they're younger and think it's cool. We're teaching them stuff before they have accessibility to team sports and stuff. And then there are kids that find us that this is their thing. But to be proactive as a parent, I really give the moms, they've been calling me up like sense of urgency. Okay, you're going to go to a workshop. I say take it with them and come to a workshop. And so they learn mental and physical self-defense awareness and self-defense techniques, period. So they need to know about the dangers. Experience is our teacher.
I like all the scenarios to be heard. They need to know awareness again.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
there is a Romeo effect. There is a this effect. There
Yeah.
is that story.
Yes.
What are the red flags when I meet someone new?
Right.
Because we cannot also protect them that much.
You could arm them with power
as
and
in
give
my,
them love.
My daughter wants to go to party with her friends. What I'm gonna do? Not keep her in a cage?
No, arm them
No.
with
You
knowledge
can't.
and love them unconditionally. On their cell phones, have that tracker. If they do have a phone, make sure you know where they are. Another thing, and Uber, Lyft, all those things, they're also having problems too. So they need to be aware before they get in the car, what's my name? To make sure it's theirs. It's their transportation. If
Is
they
Uber
use
a
it.
little bit in the human trafficking stories as well?
Human trafficking as well, it happens. I can't say it's the biggest. I've heard stories of chemical. If you're in one, group of girls or boys, young boys, put the windows down a little bit. So that way, if there's any type of chemical or anything to make them pass out in the car, they could,
You have
be
a
able-
story like that, right?
Yes, I do.
Oh, yeah.
I was visiting my sister in New York in the North Shore. I broke one of my rules. So I was at the airport and the line to get an Uber was a mile long. And I was tired and I was like, some other guy. I got overconfident with my skills and I said, hey, all right, let's go. So I paid a driver. There's always other people soliciting for rides at the airport and such. So I went with this guy. And it got creepier as we drove along. And mind you, when we're going from LaGuardia Airport to the North Shore, Lloyd Harbor area, lots of wooded area. This was like something out of a freaking horror movie that I was experienced. And I can laugh at it now, but I noticed a sweet smell in the car. I noticed I wasn't feeling right. And then I did call my sister, okay, I'm in this car. I should be arriving at such and such a time. And I kept doing it. I was not feeling well. And then this creepy guy, like an idiot, I tell him martial art, like he asked me what I do. And I'm telling him, he's like, yes, I had this ex-girlfriend. She was in martial, like he had hatred towards this ex-girlfriend.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
this is a crime scene waiting to happen, me. And it could happen to anybody. And it taught me a really good lesson. And then I saw other things on the internet, very similar stories. And I'm not picking on, I know Uber, Lyft, they save so many lives with the drinking and driving.
Going out, you mentioned your daughter going out to parties. It did happen to us when you have open drinks, not drinking from the bottle, that someone put something in our drinks.
Yes.
And someone...
Why us? I just said to
someone
them, like, we are
someone
old
told us.
farts.
We picked up our drinks and someone came to us and say, I saw someone
Yes.
who passed by your cups, which were put on the stage and we were dancing right there. See the bartender that opens the beer, takes the cap, and you control your bottle. There's no one
Absolutely.
that can put
This is
anything
something
in
we
your
also
bottle.
teach at our workshops. We
Yeah.
go over, we give these girls a crash course. I mean, I went to University of Miami back in the 80s. And I'm glad I survived.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw a lot.
And that was a
Okay.
different time.
She says,
Yeah.
I survived.
I survived. I don't know how, but I did. And they got to have previous training growing up. And that really helped me out a lot. But yes, we do go over these girls. We arm them not just with physical self-defense techniques to making good decisions, to telling them, we know you're going to drink, do the buddy system.
It's the other thing in pairs.
Body
I was
system.
going to say, never be alone.
Okay.
Never be alone.
You got to stick together. Don't let yourselves go off with each other. It's important to be aware. Awareness and education.
So talking about girls, and then we mentioned briefly the Epstein story.
Yes, we need to discuss that. Yes.
Yeah.
He used his girlfriend as the pimp. Girls are less threatened by other girls. There were some stories, this isn't the only way, but she was the Romeo. And a lot of times there are girl Romeos, females that are enticing them. It was like a pyramid system. Oh, you want to make 100 extra money? This old man, he give him a massage and this and that, it's nothing, no big deal. You make some extra money and da-da-da-da. Well, that's how it started, but then it led into other things. And how many victims were there? I don't know, but it's horrific. And once again, this started in Palm Beach County?
Yeah.
State of
Here
Florida.
in Florida.
State of
Again.
Florida.
Yeah.
Here we are again.
Yeah.
So he's a horrific person. Not the only one, unfortunately. And he's a prime example. This is human trafficking.
There is this powerful man, women maybe as well. And in these circles, anything could happen. And it's just so unbelievable that there are this group of girls and they emotionally get trapped in it. We talk about a little bit psychology, that how they manipulate them, and then they
total
don't
mental
see,
manipulation.
okay, they are vulnerable, maybe they are in need of money, they don't have a strong family background, but it keeps happening and happening, and they probably get to a point when they feel that this is not the right way I'm going, but they still go back.
There is nothing outside for them. There is nothing.
And then it becomes a habit, and it becomes just their way of life. They've accepted it for what it is, for whatever reason. We're not in their shoes. But I'm so glad so many of these things are coming out. And as horrific as they are, more people or parents are paying attention, and more girls are like, oh my God, I don't want to be that girl. I don't want to be that boy. I'm so glad that we saw some justice there with him.
Also see another problem here. I looked at some documentaries with beauty pageant. There are certain people, I'm talking about parents,
Yes.
and they are willing to put their children
Yes, in
into
harm's way.
danger
Yes,
just because of fame, just to be famous.
absolutely. And people being brought to justice. I love it when every time I post it on our human trafficking awareness prevention chat, every time somebody's caught or traffickers caught here in chat, I'm like, yes. You know?
Something recently big happened. Remember now, it says last month 15 men were arrested in an undercover sting. One was an aerospace engineer, one was a Miami-Dade employee. What does that tell us what these buyers actually are, right?
There's a lot of ambiguity there, but at the same time, these are all wins. Do you know what I mean? We can't stop crime. We could redirect, or we could make more people aware, make it smaller. Homeland Security, there's so many different organizations that are working on the flight attendants, the airports, the schools. We have to keep fighting back. If we don't, we can't stop fighting back. We have to take that big bite out of this crime.
You've been in this, you said, in decades. You've been working. How does it affect your personal life, Carol? Talking with those survivors, focusing on this really, really dark topic.
It heals my soul, and it gives me hope. To help even one person like that girl that I heard about. And I'd like to think she was at my seminar. And the girl that came to me at my women's club, I hope it felt better that she shared that with someone and feels some type of victory when these people get caught. What I do gives me purpose. And I think everybody growing up, even though my family didn't have a lot of money, no, you're going to do sports, you're going to learn about music, you're going to learn how to defend yourself, you're going to give back to the community. And at White Tiger and Dragon, we teach everybody, I don't care how much money or how little you have, you're going to give back to this community. And they go with me. They go with me to all the forums, and they help me teach the forums, no matter how old or young. We have little girls flipping big
And you
guys.
always wanted to be a superhero. You told me that,
Always.
right?
I watched the Justice League growing up. And there's two things. I'd be sitting there eating my life cereal and looking up at the screen, and I wanted all the Justice heroes' powers. I wanted to swim and be able to communicate with sea life like Aquaman. I wanted the strength of Superman. I wanted a cool jet and lasso like Wonder Woman. And when I saw Bruce Lee when I was 4 years old in Batman, that started everything, because I saw this not such a big guy beating the crap out of all these people. I'm like, I want to be able to do that. How cool is that? And he was always my idol because he wasn't very big, and he just worked really hard, and he didn't even live that long. And here we are still talking about him.
Yeah, it's amazing that your childhood dream actually became reality
True.
for your adult life, and then you are living that dream.
I am.
Yeah.
I am. Not every day is perfect, but it's like what we like to say at White Tiger and Dragon, we make karate dreams come true. We actually, ironically, we're talking about superheroes. We have one of our superstars, Caitlin Deschelle. Caitlin went to Westminster High School down here. She was one of our superstars and taught for a while. Well, she always wanted to get in the movies. She wanted to be a stunt woman. And she was also an ex-cheerleader. She was our own version of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but better. And she could flip people, and amazing. So we got her little gigs here in Miami. Her first gig, she had to wait outside so long for her tryout. She actually fainted. I was like, don't quit. And now she was Gal Gadot. She was Wonder Woman's stunt double. She actually used
I love
eyeliner.
that style.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
And I could leave with you a couple of words. It'll give you purpose. Martial arts. The Coconut Grove Women's Club, Human Trafficking Awareness Prevention, it gives me purpose. And at the end of the day, what are we left with? Whether you're rich or you're poor, when we all die, I believe what we're left with, I believe in karma, is our good deeds.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Agreed.
Well said, Sensei. Very well said. I want to repeat again. See something, say something.
What's our phone number?
305-FIX-STOP.
305 Fix Stop.
Stop. And please, you can write to us. You can follow us on Instagram, Breakfast with
Yeah.
Benefits Miami.
Also, if you are a survivor of human trafficking, you can reach out to us. If you need a voice, if you need to share a story, we are here for you.
And we can introduce you to Sensei Carol, to Women's Club of Coconut Grove. And I'm so happy now. I know something. I mean, before I heard about human trafficking, I was seeing the flyers on the airports, but now I'm more aware.
Yeah.
And I'm less scared. I'm less scared. That's the most valuable.
The more knowledge we have, the more power we have.
That's right. Knowledge is power. So we're here to educate. We're here to raise awareness. We're here to help.
Yeah.
We got you. If you go to FIFA, enjoy. I commend FIFA for acknowledging that there's a problem at major sporting events.
Yeah.
So be mindful, be aware. Let's not let these people suffer. Let's help.
Yes. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
My friend. Thank you.
Thank you. I think listening to Carol gave me goosebumps that I just seeing someone so passionate about it and making this as her life calling. It's just so amazing. A group of women at the Women's Club of Coconut Grove can really turn things around.
Yes. My impression was Sensei Carol. She's a woman and she's a sensei. All her story struck me a lot, really.
Yeah.
She's so different. I realized I missed seeing different people. And starting from zero, coming to this point, saying I need a purpose in my life.
Yeah.
And about human trafficking, as I said to her as well, I feel less scared right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach my kids. I'm going to look around differently right now, all the couples. And I know the number, 305, Fix Stop. I know the number right
Yeah.
now.
305 Fixed Up.
I like this episode a lot.
I actually thinking that I would love to get involved more with the Women's Club and this initiative because this is so important. It's important for our kids, our friends, our community, that people need to learn about it, be aware.
It's very typical for us. You want to do the community work, and I thought about I want to go to the dojo, and I want to tell
I
to
want
my
to do
sensei.
the dojo too.
I want to do sensei. I want to take my kids there, and I'm ready to self-defense.
Me too.
I'm happy to even learn how to use my phone into the ears, into the eyes,
Yeah.
and into the throat.
Yeah.
What do you want? That's I'm gonna teach.
Please share your comments, follow us, and we would love to know who are the people out there listening to us.
And also in our Instagram, we are using our video, and this episode is worth to watch, worth to see Sensei Carol on action.
Say something. Don't look away. Crime hiding in plain day. See something. Say something. Pick up the phone. No one fights this alone. Breakfast with benefits call. Ooh, 305 Fix Stop.